So you're thinking about moving to Central Florida, the Orlando, Florida area, and you're just looking for that perfect suburb to live in. Well, in this video, we're gonna talk about some pros and cons of living in Winter Garden, Florida. So pro number one of living in Winter Garden, Florida is the location and the accessibility. You're about 20 to 25 minutes away from the downtown Orlando, Florida area, and you're only about 30 to 35 minutes away from the Orlando International Airport. Where it gets a little different is when it comes to how close you are to Disney. Because Winter Garden, Florida is so big, it can take about 35 to 40 minutes to drive from the north side of Winter Garden, Florida, all the way to the south side. Disney area borders that southern side of the Horizon West Winter Garden, Florida area. What that means is if you live in kind of Horizon West or Hamlin, where you're actually closer to Disney, it can take only about 10 to 15 minutes to actually get to the parks. If you live up a little bit higher, maybe you live in Oakland or the old Winter Garden, Florida area, it's gonna take a little bit longer, around 30 to 35 minutes, depending on traffic, to actually get down into the Disney area. Pro number two is that Winter Garden, Florida has just a great community feel. You kind of have the best of all worlds in Winter Garden, Florida. It's great for families. It's also great for young professionals and people who are kind of, the kids are all moved out. And maybe they want to live in some 55 up communities. There's amazing public schools all around and in the Winter Garden, Florida area that you'll be zoned for. There's amazing private schools if you want to send your kids on that private school route. There's also amazing churches in the area, which at least to me is extremely important. And I know to a lot of people, especially that watch this channel, that's important as well. You also have access to pretty much all of your major shopping centers in a couple different ways. If you live a little bit further in the south part of Horizon West Winter Garden, Florida, you're looking at Hamlin. The Hamlin Town Square, Town Center, it's awesome. You have tons of restaurants right around there. They're building everything out. They just built a Maple Street and a Chick-fil-A. So those have been very, very popular. I'm waiting for them to build a Chipotle in the area personally, but they already have the Starbucks. They have a Publix and a Walmart literally right across the street from one another. So it's just an awesome little town square that has pretty much everything you could need in terms of shopping and a ton of different options for restaurants. Go try the Great Greek if you're into Greek food. It's really good. I eat it all the time. Another really amazing part when it comes to shopping in Winter Garden, Florida is actually Winter Garden Village, which is home to about 80 retailers and restaurants. It's this very large area right smack dab in the middle of Winter Garden, Florida, and it has everything. I mean, out of those 80 different retailers and restaurants, you're gonna find what you need. The absolute cherry on top when it comes to that community feel in Winter Garden, Florida is gonna be the downtown Winter Garden, Florida area. It's awesome. They have an amazing farmer's market on Saturdays, and just every day of the week, it's such a nice place to go. There's lots of trees everywhere, so most of it is shaded, and you can just walk, and it's beautiful. People go there from all over Central Florida just to have a nice time. Weekends can get pretty busy there just because everybody's there for the farmer's market and nobody's working, and it's a really nice place to just go chill. There's a lot of great restaurants and coffee shops. You can probably find me in one of those coffee shops most days of the week. It's just a really great place, and it's really warm and welcoming for families, young professionals, and people who are a little, your kids aren't living in the house anymore, right? Your kids have kids. Lots of things to enjoy in that area, and if you don't want to, you can go enjoy downtown Winter Garden and not spend any money. So pro number three is that Winter Garden, Florida is growing very, very fast, and this can lead to some cons that we will talk about, but let's focus on the pros right now. The people who already own in Winter Garden, Florida are seeing a lot of equity in their homes as the value of their home continues to go up, and same with people who are buying right now. People who are buying right now know that in a couple years, their home's gonna be worth potentially a lot more than it is when they actually buy it. So you do have kind of two sections of Winter Garden, Florida. You have the older area and kind of the northern Horizon West area, but then you have the southern Horizon West, a little bit closer to Disney, where there's a lot of new construction coming in. Because they're building so many amazing communities, it's just attracting more and more people to the area. But also people are attracted to the beautiful older homes they have as well. But that's definitely a pro of Winter Garden, Florida, is that it's just seeing a ton of growth as one of the fastest growing suburbs in Central Florida. So we're gonna talk about some cons now. Con number one is gonna be the traffic. Because Winter Garden, Florida is one of the fastest growing suburbs in Central Florida, and there's so many people moving there, the traffic can get pretty bad, especially around your normal trafficy hours of the day. I would say, you know, beginning of the workday, 8 to 9 o'clock, maybe into 10. Lunch hours can be pretty busy because everyone's rushing to get to one of the many restaurants in the area to get something to eat. Driving, you know, right at that 5 o'clock, right when everybody kind of gets out of work and you're trying to make it home then. I've talked about this before, and it's really just something you live with in general in Central Florida. Get a podcast going, have a nice music playlist on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever you use, and just, it's something you live with, it's something you get used to, but it is a con of living in Winter Garden, Florida. And con number two, I would say, is gonna be the higher cost of homes. Because this area has developed so much and has so much development in the future happening right now and going to come, people are attracted to this area. I mean, people are moving to Winter Garden, Florida in droves, and what that's doing is upping the cost of the homes in the area. And I've mentioned it a couple times in this video, really in terms of pricing when it comes to homes. If you're trying to find the most affordable thing in the Winter Garden, Florida area and still be close to everything, you're really looking at that mid $400,000 range. And those are townhomes. So those are townhomes anywhere from low 400s all the way up to mid 400s, and even some into the high 400K range. And then when you're going for single family homes though, you can really expect, if it's bare minimum, to be that high 400K range. Anything other than that is going to be, you know, 500K plus. I mean, Winter Garden, Florida has homes all across the spectrum. You have your 4-bed, 2.5-bath homes for 550, 500,000, all the way up to your mansions for multi-millions and everything in between in the 600K range, 700, 800. Just really depends on what your needs are and what you're looking for. So when you're thinking about moving to Winter Garden, Horizon West, or Oakland, any of these areas, you know, do come prepared to spend some money, because it's not the cheapest place to live in Central Florida. All right, guys, so that's the pros and cons of living in Winter Garden, Florida. I love Winter Garden, Florida. I know you'll love it too. Definitely visit it before you make a decision. A lot of people will think about moving to an area that they've never actually explored. If you're ever thinking about living in Winter Garden, Florida, text me. My phone number's down below, or send me an email at liveinorlandoflorida@gmail.com. If you're ready to move, if you're like ready to go right now, say, hey Andrew, I'm pre-approved, or I'm buying cash, I'm ready to go right now. Let's find a home in Winter Garden, Florida. This is when I'm gonna be in town. Boom, we'll make it happen. But if you're not that far yet in the process, it's okay. Text me anyways, email me anyways. What I'll do is I'll send you to some certain parts of Winter Garden, Florida, maybe some communities to just drive through. You're gonna go on a nice self-guided tour, and you're gonna see all of the beauty that Winter Garden, Florida has to offer. And I know you'll fall in love with it like so many other people have. Make sure to like, subscribe, and press that notification bell. If you've ever seen my videos before, you know you need to stay a couple more minutes just to see some good news, so we're gonna head over to that right now. All right, guys, if you've been to the channel, you already know what that good news is, but we're gonna get into it right now. The good news is it's actually really, really simple. And it's that each and every human being on this planet Earth is a sinner. All of us are sinners, and each and every one of us, no matter how good you are, no matter how much good you do, we all fall short of God's standard of what it actually means to be good. We have a very human understanding of good and goodness, and it's not bad to do good things, but there's something that's so important that so many people miss. Even those good people, a lot of good people miss this thing, and it's that they are still a sinner. You and me, all of us. And there is one way to be forgiven for those sins. There's absolutely only one way, and that way was paved by Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came to this earth and sacrificed himself for each and every one of us so that our sin would not kill us. All you have to do is repent of that sin, the ones you know you commit and the ones you don't know you commit, and just turn to Jesus and pursue him and follow him and seek his way, seek his wisdom, and trust in what he did, and trust him in your life. It's like the most simple thing ever said, but it can be pretty difficult to do. And it's not without its trials. But it's the most beautiful thing that will ever happen to you. I promise. It's the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. I talk about real estate all the time on this channel. I get to show some pretty amazing, beautiful houses. And each time I see those houses, you know, I think this is beautiful and this will be here for a long time, for many, many decades maybe. But there's going to be a day where it's gone. And all of these beautiful things that we cherish here on earth are gone. The one thing that really it never goes away is a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's eternal. Just seek it. If you have questions, if all of this is foreign language to you, then please just email me about it or text me about it. If this is the part of the video that you get the most from, if you're not even reaching out for real estate reasons, reach out for this. In fact, this is more important to me than any of that. So I just wanted to share that good news with you, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.